What's going on, guys? My name's Casey, and well, as you can see behind me, this is not my Jeep today. We have Christian. He brought his Jeep over to the garage because we're gonna fix this problem. That happened in our last vlog. If you remember, we were out on the trail. Christian had a little bit of an issue with his front axle, so we're gonna take that apart this morning and tear it apart and see what's going on inside and see what parts we need to order to fix that up. So we're just gonna pull the diff cover off to start, see what's going on in there. That'll be our first source of information and the messiest source of information. So Christian's got the hard job here. He's crawling under the Jeep. He's gonna pop the diff cover off. We're gonna inspect it, see what's going on. Really hoping that the axle shaft broke and not the actual ring and pinion. The axle shaft would be a lot easier to replace than having to re-gear the entire Jeep again. I got both sides of the axle shaft over there. Just need to grab a U-joint, which I think I have a few in the back of my Jeep, and we press one in. Hopefully that's all we need to do, because that would make this a real easy repair. Well, easy in the context of what it could be. If ring and pinion is stripped or broken, then that is a whole lot more work, a lot bigger job to replace, and requires a bunch of different, more specialized tools to be able to set that up properly. Where if it's just the axle shaft, then we can just pop off the tire, we'll pull the hub off, and we'll be able to pull the axle shaft out and make sure there's nothing floating around the diff. So we'll clean that out, basically just change the fluids in there and put a new axle shaft back in. It's a pretty simple repair in the grand scheme of things.
There's a lot of metal flakes in there.
Is there? Oh no. Oh, and the magnet.
Chunks off of that.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh. Oh.
What do we got?
Oh. Just strip that ring.
Let's take a look. Oh, what do we got here, guys? Oh, that is the sign of not what we wanted. Look at that. That is the section with a lot of missing teeth. For those of you who have never seen a strip ring and pinion, that is what it looks like, and there is no saving that guy, unfortunately. So that is going to mean that we're going to have to, and I don't know who, probably not me. I'm definitely not capable enough to rebuild a differential, but Christian's going to have to order up a new ring and pinion to be able to repair this. Now, the one thing that is sort of nice about these axles is they're full float. So we can pull that ring and pinion out, we can pull the axle shafts out, and we can put the hubs back on and drive just basically in two-wheel with rear-wheel drive. So that's probably what we're gonna have to do in the meantime, because I'm pretty sure Christian doesn't have a ring and pinion kicking around, and we're gonna have to order one. And well, if you're watching this, we're actually filming this on Christmas Eve. So when I upload this, it'll actually be after Christmas, but today's Christmas Eve, and we're here pulling his diff apart, and we're gonna need some parts. So, well, we got a bit more work ahead of us. All right, so we popped off Christian's wheel, just undid the brakes, 2 bolts took the caliper off. This is why I kind of say this is not a hard, well, intermediate fix to get him back and running until we can do something with this differential, but we're basically just pulled off the caliper. I'm gonna undo 3 bolts here to take off the wheel hub. I'm gonna knock off this giant sucker here. If you don't have an impact, this really makes it a lot easier if you do. So one of the reasons I carry my impact around, as well as the socket for doing the hub and taking off the axle nut, I carry those around with me on the trail, because if we do break an axle shaft, you can literally take this sucker out in 10 or 15 minutes if you got the right tools. So having a powerful battery powered impact makes getting this guy off a whole lot easier. So just undoing a couple bolts here in the back, and we're gonna have this off in probably under 5 minutes. So yeah. One-handed. Look at that. That is why you have an impact with you on the trail. that's it. That's all there is to it. We got the axle shaft out. Now this can, we'll bolt the hub back on, bolt the brakes back on, and this will be able to just roll as a free spinning wheel until we get a solution for the rest of this axle. But I think there's gonna be an upgrade in Christian's future. Oh, the big boy. Bada bing. Look at that. Eesh. Oh, you got a new doorstop. Missing a few chunkers. All right, guys, we have the carrier out with the ring here. As you can see, has a lot of teeth missing. Now, this is Dana 30 axle, and Christian is running 37-inch tires. So, you know, at some point this was likely to happen, and he's kind of accepted the fate that he was running in a, well, less than ideal configuration, and that this would happen eventually one day. But, you know, something to note, he was running for almost 2 years with 37-inch tires. Now, we don't crawl on rocks like Moab and stuff like that, but we do a lot of wheeling in the mud as well, in the snow and things like that. So, you know, it is not ideal circumstances for a Dana 30 running 37s, and it did last quite a while. But, you know, what everybody says on the internet, this will happen eventually. This is a risk that you're taking if you're going to throw 37s on your Dana 30. So, Christian's looking at some upgrades. I think he's probably going to end up with a Pro Rock 44 personally, which is the axle several of us run. I bent my Dana 44. Another buddy, Eric, that we wheel with, he bent his 44, and we've all just kind of gone with Pro Rocks, and that'll get him the bigger ring and pinion. So I'm just gonna put this guy down because it does weigh quite a bit, and it's kind of hard to hold next to my face. But anyways, that's what a ring looks like. With, there's got to be a dozen teeth missing off of it, and that's essentially what will happen, because in a Dana 30 your ring and pinion is smaller. It's not as big as the 44 ring and pinion, and when you put those big heavy 37-inch tires on your Jeep and you're out there riding it hard on the trail, that is the most likely spot to go. And here, as you can see, we have had that issue go on Christian's Jeep here, and we're going to upgrade to the larger ring and pinion. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of backstory about Christian's Jeep and just how long he's been running with that Dana 30 in that setup. You know, he's got a truss and welded C brackets on there as well, but ultimately there's nothing you can do to the ring and pinion to upgrade that in a Dana 30. It's basically at the mercy of size. So you take that risk running 37-inch tires, even running 35-inch tires if you're wheeling pretty hard, and that's why you want that Dana 44, or go up to like a Pro Rock 44 or a Curry Rock Jock or something like that, that's going to have more meat, bigger ring and pinion, and just have more strength in the differential housing there. So we're just finishing up. We're going to clean up. Christian's going to run in two-wheel drive for a little while, and as I said before, the having the full float front axle on these JKs means that we can take the axle shafts out, and we bolted the hubs back on, put the brakes back on. The wheels are just going to free spin on the hub with no axle shaft going into the hub, and he's just going to have two-wheel drive for a little while until we can order up some new parts, order up a new axle housing most likely, just so we're not paying labor and parts to rebuild a Dana 30. This is always going to have that same problem, and then his Jeep's going to be good to go. And my Pro Rock 44 has been bulletproof. I've had it for 2 years now. I've driven it pretty hard. I've had all four wheels off the ground. It's still good. Been out on the mud, the rocks, everything, and it's quite strong. So I'm not sure I would run 40-inch tires on it, but with 37s, that's what Dynatrac guarantees it with, and it's been nothing but bulletproof for me. So we're just going to button this back up and go contemplate solutions.
Alright guys, we'll get the wheels back on Christian's Jeep. He is good to go for now. He's going to take it home and we're going to figure out a game plan to fix this up. Thanks so much for watching this week's video. Really appreciate all the new subscribers on the channel. If you enjoyed this upload, make sure you leave a like. And if you enjoy the content on this channel, smash that subscribe button. And make sure you got those notifications turned on. I'm doing giveaways as the channel grows, so you want to make sure you have those notifications on and you're subscribed to the channel so you can see when I release those announcement videos. That would be awesome. Otherwise, we're going to be just doing some wheeling over the Christmas holidays, and I will be sure to be taking tons of video and vlogging the whole time. So there should be some new uploads coming, so make sure you are coming back to the channel and checking those out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week in the next upload.